She was not missing, she was taken. Taken from her name, taken from her age, taken from the safety of believing that evil things only happen to other people. Taken from the idea that adults always protect. Taken from the lie that danger announces itself loudly. They didn't steal her with chains. They stole her with love-bombing compliments. Like, you're mature for your age. I see something special in you. You're too pretty to be living like this. They didn't rush it. They studied her, cunning like a snake to its prey. They learned what she needed before she knew how to say it out loud. They called it love. They called it care. They called it opportunity. But she called it survival. She learned early that silence keeps you alive, that obedience is cheaper than resistance, that your body becomes currency when your voice is too weak to use. She learned early that questions cost too much, that fear is easier to manage than hope. She learned how to leave her body without leaving the room, how to smile while disappearing, how to nod, how to say yes, daddy, when every sound in her was screaming no. She learned how to make herself small. She learned how to become agreeable. She learned how to survive the moment by abandoning herself in it. They don't tell you this part, that trafficking doesn't always look violent. Sometimes it looks like someone paying your phone bill. Sometimes it looks like rides to school. Sometimes it looks like food when you're hungry. Sometimes it looks like attention when you feel invisible. That is what you call a Romeo pimp. Sometimes it looks like a door you're too scared to close because the hallway behind you feels darker. Sometimes it looks like staying because leaving feels worse. She wasn't dumb, she wasn't weak, she wasn't reckless, she was groomed. Day by day, they shrank her world, conversation by conversation, boundary by boundary, until they were the only thing left inside it. Until her world had one voice, one source, one way out, and it belonged to them. And when she finally realized that this wasn't love, it was already hard to remember what love was supposed to feel like. She couldn't tell the difference between safety and control, between care and ownership. She stopped believing in rescue. She stopped believing in tomorrow. Stopped believing in her life could be anything more than the rapes done to her. She stopped imagining herself older. Stopped imagining herself free. Stopped imagining a future that included her own voice. And inside her, she was still there. The little girl. Did I do something bad? I want to go home. I tried to be good. Please don't make me stay. She learned silence before she learned safety. Then the girl grew older, the teen. I didn't know how to say no. Everyone thinks I chose this. I just wanted someone to care. I'm scared all the time. She learned survival, and they called it consent. And then there is her, the adult. I survived, but I don't know who I am anymore. I carried this alone for a long time. I'm tired of being strong. I just want to feel safe in my own body. But here's what they never managed to take when they thought they owned her: her soul. There was a quiet place inside her that refused to die. Not loud, not brave, just stubborn. A flicker, a breath, a still here. It showed up in the moments she survived that should have broken her. In the moments she endured that should have erased her. In the way her heart kept beating when everything her wanted it to stop. In the way her body refused to give up on her, even when she had no strength left. And one day, not all at once, not when the world was watching, someone looked at her and didn't see a product. They didn't see a body. They didn't see a transaction. They saw the imago Dei of God, aka the image and likeness of God. They said to her, "What happened to you matters. You are not to be blamed. Your life doesn't end here." They didn't rush her. They didn't demand healing. They just stayed. And for the first time, she believed them just enough to take one step. Healing didn't arrive like a miracle. It arrived like work, like therapy, like nightmares, like the hand of God doing heart surgery. No anesthesia, no shortcuts, not pretending it doesn't hurt. Like learning how to feel again without apologizing for it. It arrived like remembering what her body had been carrying, like realizing survival has weight, like grieving a childhood that never got to be careless. A childhood that learned silence before it learned safety. People say that time heals, but the reality is this: time doesn't heal anyone. Time only reveals how God does the healing. Some days she still flinches. Some days she still hears their voices. Some days her past feels closer than her future. Some days freedom feels heavier than captivity, because now she has to choose to live. Now she has to choose herself. And some days she fears he is still following her. She is not what was done to her. She is not the body they took. She is not the silence they trained. She is not the obedience that kept her alive. She is not missing. She was taken, but she is still here. Still breathing, still remembering, still carrying the cost of what survival required. She is what survived it. She is the proof they could not erase, the proof that silence did not finish the job. Trauma spoke, and she is the one telling the truth. Pain was named, and it did not get the final word. So my friends, if you're listening to this and something in you recognizes her voice, if your chest feels tight and your breath feels shallow, you are not invisible. You are not ruined. You are not beyond hope. What was done to you does not get to decide how your story ends. She is still here, not healed all the way, not untouched, not silenced anymore. Still here is not a weakness. Still here is resistance. Still here is survival speaking back. And because she is still here, so are you. Now, before I end, I need to say this. I am sorry. I am sorry to every little girl who learned silence before safety. I am sorry to every teen who survived and was blamed for it. I am sorry to every adult still carrying what should never have been carried alone. I am sorry for the moments you were not believed, for the times you were doubted, for the system that failed you, for the adults who looked away. I am sorry that evil stole years it had no right to touch. Today, I choose to name all the human trafficking survivors and any abuse survivor. The survivors I know personally, the survivors whose names I carry quietly, the survivors I may never meet, but whose stories live in rooms like this. Not to expose you, but to honor you. Gloria, Tanya, Jamie, Amanda, Ileana, Sandra, Sienna, Marcel, Meline, Katie, Tessa, Angela, Rebecca, Jessica, Ori, and many more. Those are not stories. Those are examples. Those are not statistics. Those are survivors. Those are the image bearers of God. Still breathing, still remembering, still here. You are people. And today, January 11, National Human Trafficking Awareness Day, we do more than raise awareness. We bear witness. We say what happened was real. We say what happened was wrong. We say silence does not get the last word. She was not missing. She was taken, and she is still here.